Have you ever walked into a room and, without anyone saying a word, you could feel the energy shift? You sense who is confident, who is hiding something, and who is quietly in control. But here's the real question. How do you know? Is it intuition? Or is there something deeper at play? What if I told you that you could learn to outsmart anyone without a single word passing your lips by understanding the hidden patterns of human psychology? Because what you're about to discover might completely change the way you see people. Carl Jung, one of the greatest minds in deep psychology, believed that every interaction is layered with meaning. Beneath the surface of small talk, behind the smiles and polite nods, there's an entire world of unconscious signals waiting to be read. These aren't just random gestures or fleeting expressions, they are clues. They tell you who someone really is, what they want, and even what they fear. And once you can see these patterns, you'll never see people the same way again. Think about the last time you met someone new. Maybe they said all the right things, but something about them didn't sit right. Or maybe you instantly trusted them without knowing why. That's your subconscious picking up on what their words couldn't hide. You've experienced it before, haven't you? That gut feeling isn't magic. It's your mind interpreting unspoken language. Jung called this the realm of the unconscious, and it's where the truth often hides in plain sight. In the modern world, where everyone is busy crafting the perfect image, on social media, in business, even in personal relationships, learning to see beyond the mask has never been more powerful. Jung's lessons give you the tools to do exactly that, to detect the subtle shifts in body language, the tone beneath the tone, the pauses that reveal more than any sentence. And here's the part that surprises most people. You don't need to be a psychologist to do it. You just need to know what to look for. Now imagine what this skill could mean for you. Negotiating a deal, you'll know the moment the other person hesitates. Meeting someone for the first time, you'll sense whether they're genuine or playing a role. Navigating a difficult conversation, you'll spot the tension before it explodes. This isn't about manipulation, it's about awareness. And once you master it, you'll walk through life with a level of clarity and control that others can only guess at. The techniques we're about to explore are not party tricks. They are rooted in decades of psychological insight, tested in the most complex human interactions, and they work in silence. You won't have to raise your voice. You won't have to dominate the conversation, and you certainly won't have to reveal your own hand. You'll simply observe, understand, and, when the moment is right, act with precision. So, if you've ever wanted to read people like an open book without uttering a single word, stay with me. Because in the next moments, we're stepping into Carl Jung's world, and what you learn here might just change the way you move through your own. And as you're listening to this, I want you to think about the moments in your own life when you've sensed something others couldn't see. Maybe you picked up on someone's unease in a meeting, or noticed the quiet confidence of a person who never needed to speak loudly to command respect. Have you ever had an experience like that? If you have, I'd love for you to share it in the comments. Your perspective might spark a thought for someone else who's watching, and together we can turn this into more than just a video. We can create a space where people learn from each other's insights. If what we've been talking about resonates with you, if it stirs something in you, take a second to like this video. It may seem like a small thing, but it's what helps this message reach more people who are searching for exactly this kind of understanding. And if you're finding value here, and you want to keep exploring the hidden layers of the human mind, make sure you subscribe. That's how you stay connected, and it's how you tell me, yes, I want more of this. Keep going. Your voice, your engagement, it's what keeps this channel alive. Every comment, every like, every subscription tells me there's a community out there that values wisdom, awareness, and the ability to see beyond the surface. And as we keep going, we're going to dig even deeper into these silent skills, uncovering the kind of insights that can quietly shift the way you see and move through the world. Carl Jung was not just a psychologist, he was a map maker of the human mind. While others focused on what people said, Jung looked at the spaces between words, the subtle cues that revealed a person's true state. He believed that beneath the surface of every conversation lies a deeper truth, a truth hidden in the pauses, the micro-movements, and the unguarded moments when the mask slips. His work wasn't about guessing or assuming, it was about seeing the structure behind behavior, the patterns that repeat like an unspoken script. Think about it. Every decision someone makes, every shift in tone or glance away, is part of a bigger story they're unconsciously telling. This is where transformation begins, when you realize that human interactions are not just random exchanges, but carefully choreographed dances of intention and instinct. Jung's silent strategy is about stepping backstage into the world of those hidden movements where the real revelations happen. It's about noticing what's not being said and recognizing how that absence speaks louder than words. When you learn to read these cues, you start to see the invisible threads that connect a person's thoughts, emotions, and actions. You begin to sense their mental state, their fears, even their unspoken desires. And here's the impact. Once you can see these truths, your decisions change. You respond with precision instead of impulse, clarity instead of confusion. You're no longer playing the same game as everyone else. You're navigating from a higher vantage point, where the noise fades and the truth becomes visible. Now I want to go even deeper into this idea, into how Jung uncovered the silent architecture of human behavior and how you can start applying it in your own life to transform the way you understand people. Comment below. This makes sense to me if you're ready to see what's really happening behind the scenes. Jung described the persona as the mask we present to the world, a carefully constructed image designed to protect us, to gain approval, or to control how others see us. It's not necessarily a lie, but it's rarely the whole truth. From the way someone dresses to the tone they use, from the stories they choose to tell to the ones they leave out, the persona is a crafted version of the self, built for social survival. We all have one, and it serves a purpose. But here's the truth most people overlook. The persona is also a filter. It hides not only what a person doesn't want others to see, but often what they haven't even acknowledged within themselves. When you learn to see past this mask, you gain access to a deeper layer of reality. You begin to notice inconsistencies, moments when someone's body language doesn't match their words, when their reaction is just slightly too quick or too delayed, when their smile fades a fraction before they think. You've noticed. These tiny cracks are where the truth leaks through, and in those moments you can read a person more accurately than they could ever describe themselves. Think of it as standing backstage during a performance. While the audience is captivated by the spotlight, you're watching the nervous glances, the subtle adjustments, the whispered exchanges. The persona is the show. What lies beneath is the truth. And once you train yourself to see both, you no longer get caught up in appearances. This shift in perception changes the way you approach conversations, decisions, and even conflicts. You're not reacting to the performance, you're responding to the reality. Now I want to go even deeper into this subject, into how the cracks in someone's persona can reveal their unspoken motives and the subtle signals that give them away. Comment below. I see the mask, if you're starting to notice how this plays out in your own interactions. Jung's idea of the shadow goes even deeper than the persona. If the persona is the mask we choose to show the world, the shadow is everything we choose to hide. Our fears, insecurities, impulses, and desires that we believe are unacceptable. Most people work hard to keep this part of themselves buried, even from their own awareness. But here's the truth. The shadow always finds a way to slip through. It can show up in the hesitation before answering a question, in a sudden change of tone, in the flash of irritation that appears before the smile returns. These moments are small, but they carry a weight far greater than the words being spoken. Think about a time when someone said they were fine, but their body told another story. Crossed arms, eyes darting away, voice tightening just slightly. Or when someone overreacted to a minor comment, revealing a wound far older than the conversation you were having. These are glimpses into the shadow, and once you learn to notice them, you start to see the truth beneath the surface. The contradictions between what someone says and what they show are often the most revealing part of the interaction. The shadow isn't always dark in a malicious sense. It can also hold unacknowledged strengths, untapped potential, and parts of ourselves we've been told to hide. But whether it's fear, resentment, ambition, or longing, the signals are there. A prolonged pause, a too forced laugh, a sudden tightening of the jaw, these are the cracks through which the hidden self speaks. Now, I want to go even deeper into this subject, into how these subtle leaks from the shadow can guide your understanding of people and give you an advantage in reading their real intentions. Comment below. I see the shadow, if you've ever noticed these hidden signals in someone's behavior. While the persona hides and the shadow leaks, the unconscious signals are the constant stream of information that most people overlook. These are not deliberate choices. They are reflexes, micro movements, and Subtle shifts that bypass conscious control. The way someone's voice dips ever so slightly when they feel insecure, the subtle leaning forward when they're engaged, or the way their eyes momentarily glance toward the exit when they want to leave a conversation. All of these are tells. They are the silent soundtrack of a person's internal state, playing underneath every word. Tone of voice is one of the clearest windows into this hidden layer. A sentence can be identical in wording yet entirely different in meaning depending on the pace, pitch, and rhythm. A slow, deliberate tone might signal confidence, while a sudden quickening can reveal nervousness or excitement. Posture speaks in its own language too. An open chest and relaxed shoulders convey ease, while a slight hunch or inward folding can suggest defensiveness or withdrawal. Even the smallest gestures, a finger tapping on the table, a foot shifting restlessly, can signal tension, impatience, or eagerness. Eye movement is perhaps the most revealing of all. Our gaze naturally shifts when we're recalling information, imagining possibilities or avoiding an uncomfortable truth. A quick look downward can signal discomfort, while a sustained, steady gaze can project dominance or sincerity. These movements happen in fractions of a second, yet they often carry more truth than an entire conversation. The real skill is not just noticing these signals, but connecting them with the context. One gesture on its own can be meaningless, but a cluster of unconscious cues can expose a truth someone never intended to share. Now I want to go even deeper into this subject, into how reading these patterns with precision can transform the way you navigate human interactions. Comment below. I notice the signs if you've ever picked up on these subtle, unspoken clues. Jung believed that beneath our individual personalities lies a shared framework of universal patterns he called archetypes. These are ancient blueprints of behavior, rooted in the collective unconscious, shaping the way we think, act, and respond to the world. Whether we realize it or not, each of us plays out these roles in our lives. The hero driven to prove themselves, the caregiver who sacrifices for others, the trickster who disrupts and challenges the rules. They're not fictional characters. They are recurring forces that influence decisions, reveal priorities, and shape the way we move through our personal and professional journeys. Once you start recognizing these archetypes in action, you can often predict someone's choices before they make them. The hero will push forward even when the odds are stacked against them because their identity is tied to overcoming challenges. The caregiver will put someone else's needs ahead of their own, even at great personal cost, because their sense of worth is built on service. The trickster thrives on chaos and surprise, using wit and disruption to gain an edge or expose weaknesses. These patterns don't just guide people, they quietly dictate how they respond under pressure, in moments of conflict or when faced with opportunity. In everyday life, spotting an archetype can feel like seeing the script before the actors have read their lines. It's a truth hidden in plain sight, giving you a rare advantage in understanding not just what someone is doing, but why. And when you understand the why, you can navigate the interaction with more precision, anticipate their moves, and adjust your own strategy in real time. Now I want to go even deeper into this subject, into how the subtle variations within each archetype reveal the more complex truths about a person's intentions and hidden drives. Comment below. I see the pattern if you've ever recognized these roles in the people around you. Every room carries an emotional current, an invisible atmosphere that shapes the way people behave. Most walk into a space and only register the obvious: voices, faces, actions. But beneath that is the emotional tone, the unspoken climate that influences every interaction. Jung's approach to understanding human nature includes this subtle awareness, the ability to sense the underlying energy without relying solely on what's visible. It's a skill that, once developed, allows you to navigate any situation with a kind of quiet precision that others can't quite explain. Tension is one of the easiest energies to detect if you know how to look for it. It might show in stiff postures, shorter sentences, or the way people avoid certain topics. Enthusiasm, on the other hand, radiates. Eyes brighten, gestures open up, voices carry more rhythm and warmth. Avoidance is its own signature, marked by shifts in body orientation, a sudden change in subject, or people finding ways to physically distance themselves from certain conversations. These aren't just random behaviors. They are the body and mind signaling what words might be trying to hide. The truth is, emotional energy is contagious. If you're unaware of it, You get pulled into it without realizing why you feel more defensive, more relaxed, or more open, but when you consciously read the emotional tone, you can choose how to respond instead of being unconsciously shaped by it. This awareness becomes a strategic advantage. You know when to lean in, when to hold back, and when to redirect the flow entirely. Now I want to go even deeper into this subject, into how aligning your perception with these subtle energies can transform the outcome of your interactions. Comment below. I feel the energy if you've ever sensed the mood of a room before a single word was spoken. Silence is one of the most underestimated tools in human interaction, yet it carries a weight that words often can't match. In a world where people rush to fill every gap in conversation, strategic silence becomes a space where truth has room to emerge. Jung understood that silence can act as a mirror, reflecting back the other person's own thoughts, insecurities, and intentions. It's not passive, it's deliberate. A choice to let the other person reveal themselves while you hold your position with composure. Powerful individuals use this skill effortlessly. In negotiations, a pause after a proposal can make the other side rush to speak, often revealing their bottom line or hidden doubts. In personal conversations, staying quiet after someone makes a statement can compel them to elaborate, exposing more than they originally intended. Even in moments of conflict, silence can shift the emotional balance, making the other person feel the weight of their own words. It's a truth hidden in plain sight. Silence changes the rhythm, and whoever controls the rhythm often controls the direction. The key is to pair this silence with presence. Your body language, eye contact, and calm demeanor signal that you're fully engaged, not withdrawn. This creates a subtle pressure that draws information out without you having to demand it. And because silence disrupts the predictable flow of conversation, it often triggers unplanned revelations, the kind you can't get by asking direct questions. Now I want to go even deeper into this subject, into how mastering the timing and delivery of silence can transform both your influence and your understanding of others. Comment below. I use the pause if you've ever noticed the power that comes from simply saying nothing. When you really want to understand someone, a single interaction isn't enough. The deeper truth emerges when you observe patterns over time, the repeated ways a person reacts, the phrases they rely on, the gestures that become part of their signature without them even noticing. This is where you step out of the noise of isolated moments and start seeing the architecture of someone's behavior. Jung understood that people, despite believing they are unpredictable, often move through life in loops, driven by ingrained responses and subconscious programming. You might notice that a colleague always deflects with humor when confronted, or that a friend unconsciously crosses their arms whenever they feel judged. Perhaps someone uses the same story in different contexts to shape how others see them, or a rival repeats a certain expression right before they try to assert control. These aren't coincidences. They're patterns revealing the emotional and psychological framework beneath the surface. The more you track these recurrences, the more accurately you can anticipate future actions. This is not about paranoia, it's about awareness. Over time, the triggers, habits, and small rituals people rely on become predictable markers. In conversations, these patterns are like signposts, guiding you toward what truly motivates them. And once you understand that, you're no longer reacting to surprises. You're moving with intent, shaping your own responses instead of being pulled into theirs. Now I want to go even deeper into this subject, into how recognizing and mapping these patterns can give you an unmatched advantage in navigating relationships and decisions. Comment below. I see the loop. If you've ever noticed someone repeat the same subtle behaviors over and over, if you've been paying attention to how others reveal themselves, the next step is turning that same lens inward. Because while noticing their patterns gives you insight, mastering your own signals gives you control. Every gesture, every shift in tone, every glance carries meaning, and if you're not aware of them, you might be broadcasting more than you intend. Self-mastery means becoming intentional about what you project so that others can't easily read or influence you. Start with your body language. A calm, grounded posture communicates confidence without aggression. Avoid restless movements or unconscious gestures that might betray nerves or impatience. Your voice matters just as much. Its pace, volume, and rhythm can either draw people in or give away your emotional state. Even your pauses, when placed deliberately, can reinforce authority while keeping your true thoughts hidden. It's also about managing emotional leakage. If someone tries to provoke you, resist the urge to react instantly. That moment of control not only protects your position, but often makes the other person reveal more in the silence that follows. By staying centered, you maintain the advantage of observation without becoming part of the emotional game being played. This isn't about becoming cold or robotic. It's about developing the mental discipline to decide what you show and when. In high-stakes situations, this control can mean the difference between leading the interaction and being led by it. Now I want to go even deeper into this subject, into how mastering your own presence can influence the flow of any encounter without a single word. Comment below, "I master my signals," if you're ready to take control of the image you project. These skills only reach their true power when they step off the page of theory and into the real world. In a business negotiation, for example, being able to read unconscious signals can tell you when the other party is bluffing, when they're uncertain, and when you've hit a point they don't want to discuss. You might notice a slight pause before they agree, a tightening of the lips, or a shift in their posture. All clues that let you adjust your approach without them realizing it. In social interactions, the ability to spot the persona, glimpse the shadow, and read emotional energy can completely change the way you connect with people. Imagine being at a networking event and instantly recognizing who is genuinely open to conversation and who is simply going through the motions. This allows you to invest your time where it matters most, building connections that have real impact instead of chasing empty exchanges. Even in conflict resolution, these silent strategies can transform the outcome. By controlling your own signals and reading the other person's, you can de-escalate tension, uncover the truth behind their resistance, and guide the conversation toward resolution without forcing it. Sometimes it's not the words that solve the problem, it's the awareness of what's being communicated without words at all. Now I want to go even deeper into this subject, into how weaving all these skills together creates a seamless strategy for influence, clarity, and stronger decision-making in every area of life. Comment below. I apply the skills if you can already imagine how this would change the way you navigate your own situations. When you begin to truly see people, not just their words, but the signals, the patterns, the unspoken truths, you step into a different role in your own life. You're no longer just a passive observer, reacting to whatever comes your way. You become a strategic player, someone who navigates with intention, clarity, and a deep understanding of the forces shaping every interaction. This is not about manipulation. It's about alignment. It's choosing to move through the world with your eyes open, aware of the subtle dynamics that most never notice, and using that awareness to make better decisions, build stronger connections, and protect yourself from hidden agendas. The transformation happens when you realize you don't need to control everything. You just need to understand it. When you can read a room's emotional energy, see the cracks in someone's persona, or recognize the tells in their body language, you stop being blindsided by other people's actions. Instead, you start guiding the flow, subtly influencing outcomes without forcing them. The truth is, the greatest influence often comes from presence, not pressure. This shift in mentality changes how you approach every area of your life. In work, it allows you to anticipate moves and position yourself ahead. In relationships, it gives you the empathy to see beyond defenses and reach the person beneath. In moments of conflict, it gives you the patience to respond instead of react, turning tension into opportunity. It's the art of moving from guessing to knowing, from drifting to directing. Now I want to go even deeper into this subject, into how this mindset can be cultivated daily until it becomes second nature. Comment below. I play the game, if you're ready to step into this role with confidence and purpose. If you've made it all the way here, you've already taken a big step towards seeing the world with sharper eyes and a clearer mind. If this journey gave you something valuable today, consider subscribing so you can keep building on these skills with me. And let me know in the comments by writing, "I'm with you until the end," so I know you were here for the full conversation. Your like on this video also tells me this kind of content matters to you, and it helps it reach others who are ready for the same transformation. There's another video right here that goes hand in hand with what we talked about today. Click it, and let's keep going together.